Welcome to today's video. Today we're going to talk about 5 shots that make anything more cinematic. We'll talk about what they are, how they're used, and how you can create them in your own AI films. Now I'm going to introduce these 5 shots, and as I do, Milad is going to show us how we can create our own using the latest, greatest AI tools. And as we go through the video, we're going to try to generate our own very short Pixar-style movie using only these 5 shots. So if you want to see how it turns out, stick around till the end. So to get started, the first shot that we're going to talk about is the establishing shot. The establishing shot is a very wide shot whose primary function is orientation. It answers the questions, where are we, and offer when are we, by showing a broader context. It shows geography, architecture, weather, time of day, or social environment.
Alright, so let's create our first establishing shot using our generated Pixar characters. By the way, if you want to learn how to do this, we have workflows that show you how to create consistent characters. I already made this. And I'm going to start our establishing shot with using our first character in a scene. Wait, now I already have my prompt written, and we'll include all these prompts in the description and also the final workflow as a template if you want to just jump in and try it out. Connect my character image, and let's try this with a 2K resolution, and I want to make sure I select 16:9 for our final product. So let's see what we get. All right, let's check this out. I think that captures that scene pretty nicely.
Yeah, creates a feeling of isolation, right?
Yeah, loneliness or smallness compared to the surrounding.
Okay, next we have the wide shot. A wide shot is a shot that shows subjects clearly while prioritizing the surrounding space. Characters are readable, but the environment kind of dominates the frame. It's used for emphasizing spatial relationships, scale, isolation, vulnerability, or group dynamics. Wide shots are useful for blocking, choreography, and scenes where movement through space matters.
All right, now let's create a wide shot. I think using all 3 characters would be useful in this. I'm kind of thinking they will be doing the same thing, kind of playing a board game maybe. I'm just going to grab my image editor, connect all of my characters in. I have a prompt ready for this one. This one actually I'm going with a very short prompt to see what we get.
That's a nice family shot.
That's beautiful, actually. That's the perfect style we're going for.
So next up, we've got the full shot. A full shot frames a character from head to toe, keeping the body fully visible without excessive surrounding space. This shot is about physical performance like posture, gesture, gait, and how the character occupies the environment. It's common in scenes involving action, entrances or exits, or moments where the body language carries meaning. So what are we going to generate for our wide shot here?
I'm thinking, let's say the dad is sitting on the same kind of scene in a park on a bench. I really like that Forrest Gump image. I'm going to bring my image in. We have a prompt ready for this one. I don't think I mentioned this in the previous ones, but I'm using Nano Banana Pro for all the image generations right now, because I think it does a really well job with especially this kind of styling cartoons.
I think that's a nice full shot. It's kind of back to the feeling of loneliness maybe that we were kind of establishing with the establishing shot.
Yeah. The shot is perfect as far as the composition goes. The styling is a little different than what I was going for, but we can fix that later if you want to turn this into a movie.
And why are you using those image editor nodes?
Well, because I want to keep the character, so I'm passing in the character here, for example, and then I am in my prompt, I am mentioning that I want the image 1, which references that character to be placed, so that helps me keep things consistent as I go, especially if I want to use this for some animation later.
Okay, cool. Okay, up next we have the cowboy shot. The cowboy shot got its name obviously from the Western films back in the day. It frames the character from roughly mid-thigh or just below the waist upward. Historically, it was developed in Westerns to include gun holsters, and it persists because it balances facial expressions with readiness for action. So Milad, what are we making for our cowboy shot here?
I'm thinking the dad needs some tension. I don't know what he's going to be doing, but we can use a scene with tension later in our story. So let's have our burly guy have some tension built up. I'm just going to bring our. Same character in again. Let me drop my prompt, make sure that we get an actual 2D image. Let's see what we get. All right, so let's start with the dad. So I'm thinking the dad needs some tension. I don't know what he's going to be doing, but we can use a scene with tension later in our story. So let's have our burly guy have some tension built up. I'm just going to bring our same character in again. cowboy shot.
That didn't turn out quite like a cowboy shot, did it?
No, that's cowboy. I've noticed that the model, when I was testing it out as well, is not so great with cowboy shots. But I think we can fix this. I do like the composition here. So maybe we can just zoom in a little bit with the camera. What do you think?
You want to do another image editor node and then just modify. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's go.
Let's see if that works.
That's more like a cowboy shot.
That's pretty close to what we have up here as well. I'm pretty happy with that, and I like the style. The style goes well with what I had in mind. So yeah, let's move on to the next one.
And the last shot that we have is the medium shot. This one frames the subject from about the waist up, and it's a workhorse of dialogue and interaction scenes. It allows clear facial expressions while still showing hand gestures and limited movements, making it ideal for conversations, collaborative actions, and character relationships. Medium shots maintain emotional engagement without the intensity of close-ups and preserve continuity across shot reverse shot editing.
All right, what do you think we should do for this one? Maybe the guy and the girl can have a conversation?
Yeah, I think so. We've basically established some sense of isolation on the man, and we do have like a happy scene there, but we don't have any tension, and this seems like a perfect opportunity to create a little bit of tension.
Right. Okay, I'm gonna have them basically in kind of similar scene, but let's see if we can also place them in that area and talking to each other. Okay, so as far as the composition and the shot goes, that is a medium shot, right?
Yeah, but it seems like the background is like not as high
so I think
detailed.
Yeah, we can fix that. Maybe I do want the character to be talking in the same environment. So then let me show you a little trick that we can do to preserve that across our shots. So the first thing I'm going to do, since we like this shot, I am going to take this and create a new image edit node. And I'm just going to remove our character from this shot. So we just have the environment. Okay, now we have our environment. I'm going to use that same image that I just created, and I'm going to feed that into our image editor node as well. So now I already changed my prompt as well, that I'm going to tell them that they'll be standing in the park from image 3. So the first two are the characters and the third image is our environment. So this probably won't give me a perfect medium shot because this is quite zoomed out, but we can fix that too after.
That's the nice thing about these nodes is you can just keep layering them on and tweaking the individual images.
Yeah, and then you don't lose your train of thought either, right? You can treat it. Okay.
Well, I guess it is a medium shot, but isn't it a medium shot? I think it is. No?
I think we need to be a little bit closer. I feel like there's too much space. There's too much space. Like if you look at this one, I feel like it has to be hip and above for a medium shot to be proper.
Right. About the waist up, right.
Yeah, we can zoom in a little bit. I'm going to say no hands visible because that's what I feel like is where the medium shot for this scene would be perfect. Just kind of around here. There we go. That's a much better medium shot, I would say.
Right, yeah.
All right, so now we have, let me just clean this up a little bit. I'm just going to use our scene for later, so I'm just going to store it here along with our characters. That's the scene that gets reused a few times. And we have our 5 shots.
Okay, so we talked about the 5 shots, and we went away and we did a bunch of editing on these shots. And we made a little storyboard for a story that we want to tell. And you have the storyboard up there at the bottom. And Milad, if you can zoom in, we can maybe go over what the story is that we were going to tell.
Yeah, let's start from scene 1 with our.
So we have establishing shot of kind of showing his isolation.
Then we move on to a full shot of him sitting on the bench in the park. If you notice, we matched all the styles as we go forward using the same technique we showed earlier on how to make sure you have consistency across different images.
And now we have another wide shot that shows the man and a woman in the same space.
Then another full shot of the woman.
Yep, and full shot of the woman, and the idea here is that she will get up and go and leave something behind.
Then here we have our character jumping into action.
Yeah, and for that we use a cowboy shot, and we have some interaction. Now their facial expressions on this one is not as happy as I would like. Maybe we edit that before we animate it.
We can definitely fix that before we animate it. Yeah, he seems a little worried there.
Yeah, and then we have a happy family.
Yeah, a happy ending.
Just so classic boy meets girl. Love story for the holiday season.
All right, let's go ahead and animate.
How should we animate the establishing shot? It's probably just the camera is kind of like slowly zooming out to kind of emphasize the isolation.
Yeah, maybe the camera zooms, maybe the camera pans up or something.
Right.
Or like either goes up or back.
I think back would be.
Okay, so we go back.
So maybe we add a image to video node to start the animation.
Maybe leave it at that. It's just an opening shot. So I'm gonna keep it at 4 seconds. I don't think we're gonna do audio for these. There we go.
That's a very nice shot.
Just put that here for reference. Okay, if you want to talk about it, let's talk now.
So that's really let's talk about the key element of bringing these shots to life, because we have the starting frames the way we want them for each scene, and really the core thing about bringing them to life, because we're only doing shots that are a few seconds each, is specifying the movement of the camera and the character. And usually if we want something a little bit more complex, we can actually have more intermediate shots that we generate as images, and then have the image models kind of fill those in, right?
Yeah, but for these ones, I think we're just doing starting image, and with the model, figure out the rest.
Okay, so this is our completed storyboard. We have all of our scenes. We have the starting frame for each of the scenes, and we have animated each of those with different video models, and we finally have a series of clips. Should we have a look at how it turned out?
Let's go.
So guys, if you want to check out this entire workflow, exactly the way we built this short Pixar style film using these 5 cinematic shots, we're going to share a link to this workflow in Windernode in the description of this video. And happy building!
And Merry Christmas!